The emergency beacon cut through the void like a scream in the darkness. Captain Lisa Rodriguez felt her heart sink as the distress signal reached their patrol vessel's sensors. The coordinates placed it deep in contested space, where the hegemony had been pressing their brutal expansion for months. "Ma'am, we're picking up life signs," reported Communications Officer Jenny Walsh, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "Two vessels, both badly damaged. One appears to be Elvish configuration, the other unknown design." Lisa studied the tactical display. The smart move would be to call for backup and wait. The hegemony had been hunting refugee ships for weeks, and this could easily be a trap, but those life signs were fading fast. "Plot an intercept course," she ordered. "Maximum burn." The rescue ship Defiance streaked toward the coordinates, its human crew preparing for the worst. Lisa had seen, too, many hegemony raids to hold much hope for survivors. The alien empire showed no mercy to those they deemed inferior, which apparently included every other species in the galaxy. When they arrived at the coordinates, the sight that greeted them was worse than expected. The Elvish merchant vessel hung broken in space, its elegant curves twisted and blackened. Nearby, an alien ship of unfamiliar design leaked atmosphere through multiple hull breaches. Both craft were clearly beyond saving. "Life pods detected," called scanner technician Amy Chen from her station. "4 from the Elvish ship, 2 from the unknown vessel." "Beam them aboard immediately," Lisa commanded. "Medical team to the transport. Bay." Within minutes, the survivors were brought aboard. The Elvish refugees were in poor condition, but stable. 3 crew members and what appeared to be a civilian passenger. The 2 survivors from the unknown ship were more intriguing. They stood nearly 7 feet tall, with blue-tinted skin, and features that seemed almost crystalline in their angular beauty. Dr. Rebecca Torres worked frantically to stabilize the most severely injured elf, while Lisa approached the apparent leader of the tall aliens. The being's large, multifaceted eyes studied the human captain with obvious intelligence. "I am Navigator Veltara of the Zephyr Collective," the alien spoke in accented but clear standard. "We owe you our lives, human." "Captain Lisa Rodriguez," she replied. "What happened here?" The elf passenger, now conscious despite her injuries, struggled to sit up. "They came out of nowhere," she gasped. 3 hegemony destroyers. We were just trying to reach the neutral zone." "The hegemony has been expanding their raids," Veltara added, her voice carrying a musical quality that seemed to resonate through the air. "My people were attempting to establish trade relations with the Elvish worlds when we encountered their vessel under attack." Pilot Emma Watson looked up from her console. "Captain, we've got company. 3 ships just dropped out of hyperspace hegemony configuration." Lisa's blood ran cold. The enemy had followed the debris trail. "Red alert. All hands to battle stations." "Captain," Veltara stepped forward. "Your vessel is not equipped for battle against 3 destroyers. You should leave us and escape while you can." The Elvish survivor, who had given her name as Lyrelai, shook her head weakly. "No one deserves to fall to the hegemony. But she's right. You cannot fight them alone." Lisa looked at both women, seeing the resignation in their eyes. They had accepted death as inevitable, just as countless others had in recent months. The hegemony seemed unstoppable, their technology superior, their ruthlessness absolute. "Computer, open a channel to Earth Command," Lisa ordered. "Emergency priority 1. "Captain, that will take too long," Jenny protested. "They'll be on us in minutes." "Not to Earth Command," Lisa smiled grimly. "To the Colonial Defense Network." She keyed in a special frequency that most aliens didn't know existed. Within seconds, responses began flooding in from across human space, not from military command centers, but from individual ships, mining stations, cargo haulers, and colony militias. "This is Captain Rodriguez of the Defiance. We have refugees under hegemony attack at coordinates 77 Alpha. Anyone who can assist, we could use the help." The first response came within 30 seconds. "This is the freighter Lucky Strike. We're 40 minutes out, but we're coming." Then another. "Iron Will mining platform responding. We've got armed tugs en route." And another. "Colonial Marine Patrol Vessel Thunderhead, ETA 22 minutes. Veltara and Lyralay watched in amazement as the communications board lit up with dozens of responses. Human ships from across 3 star systems were altering course, dropping cargo, abandoning scheduled runs, all to respond to the call of strangers in need. "I don't understand," Veltara whispered. "Why would they risk themselves for aliens they've never met?" "Because that's what humans do," Dr. Torres said as she finished treating Lyralay's wounds. "We don't leave people behind." The Sci-Fi hegemony destroyers arrived first, as expected. They immediately began demanding surrender, broadcasting their usual threats about the consequences of harboring enemies of the Empire. Lisa kept them talking while her sensors tracked the approaching human vessels. When the first wave arrived, 6 armed freighters and a Coast Guard cutter, the hegemony commanders seemed more amused than concerned. When the second wave dropped out of hyperspace, including 2 destroyers and a heavy cruiser, their tone changed. By the time the third wave materialized, led by a human dreadnought that had been conducting exercises 2 systems away, the hegemony ships were already calculating retreat vectors. "This is Admiral Kate Morrison aboard the Indomitable," came the transmission. "Hegemony vessels, you are in violation of several interstellar treaties and are ordered to withdraw immediately." The lead hegemony destroyer transmitted back, "We are pursuing lawful enforcement actions against enemies of the Empire." "Negative," Morrison replied coolly. "You are threatening non-combatant refugees in a rescue vessel. You have 30 seconds to begin withdrawal, or we will interpret your presence as an act of war." The hegemony ships held position for exactly 29 seconds before jumping to hyperspace. As the immediate threat passed, Veltara and Lyralay found themselves surrounded by humans checking on their welfare, offering food, medical supplies, and safe passage to wherever they needed to go. The response had been so overwhelming that ships were still arriving hours after the hegemony retreat. "Your people?" Veltara said to Lisa as they watched the rescue coordination from the bridge. "They came from everywhere. Mining ships, cargo haulers, even civilian vessels. Why would they risk so much?" Lisa considered the question as she watched a human medical ship taking aboard wounded refugees from several other recent rescues. "Because someone sent out an SOS," she said simply. "And humans answer the call." Lyralay, now recovering in a medical chair, spoke softly. "The hegemony believes strength comes from domination, but this is different." "Yeah," Lisa nodded, watching the organized chaos of human ships coordinating refugee evacuations. "This is what happens when you threaten something under human protection. We might not be the strongest species, individually, but we sure don't fight alone." As the Defiance prepared to escort the refugees to safety, Veltara made a decision that would echo across the galaxy. She opened a channel to the Zephyr Collective homeworld, her message simple but profound. "Contact the human governments immediately. We need to discuss an alliance." The age of hegemony dominance was ending. The Deathworlders had arrived.